Coffee talk. Okay, here we go. We have known each other for many years.
Yeah.
Your career, your life path in general has been such an inspiration to me that I want to share you with the rest of the world.
Oh, thank you.
And I just want to go through, first of all, your life motto with your career is live fully.
Live fully.
So for people who don't know you, right now you are a commercial real estate rock star.
Thank you.
Take us through your career path before that. Tell us about a little bit where you came from that's led you to where you are now.
I frequently joke that people are either a straight line or they're the curved and jagged. Definitely much the latter. So I actually spent 11 years in operations manufacturing, worked at some of the best companies, and it was capacity planning, overseas buys, negotiations, tooling, concurrently running with R&D. Later it was forecasting. So it was very much the operations arena, which uncannily, I say, is now the backbone of my commercial real estate. But fast forward to that, I had had a life-altering car accident, as you know. And with that, it really had me take a step back. And I was in my early 20s, and I had some of the bigger life questions of, who am I? What do I want to do? What am I here to do? I know I'm not happy, but where is the golden ticket per se? So with that really brought on an onslaught of really just digging in and finding out who I am, different studies, as well as the irony is I got into meditation, which I remember thinking, if anyone knows me, they would never have prescribed that. But interestingly enough, that has been one of the staples of my life forward. But, through that, what I call my early midlife crisis in my 30s, it came a little bit later, is, I tried different things. I quit the operations arena. I got into fitness, which is where we met. And then also coaching, and then also my art.
Yeah, I love your artwork.
Yeah. And so color, I feel color. It's very much a part of me. And so with that, it was really starting small businesses. And when I look back, I realized, one, I didn't have the funding, I didn't have the proper planning, and also the support. So I had aspects right, but there was also a lot that I learned from that. And so you fast forward, then I got into commercial real estate. And with that, I just fell in love with the retail and restaurants. I've always joked I've always loved shopping. I've always loved eating. So why didn't I know about this in the 90s when I was deciding where to go to school? The beauty of life, though, is that all of our different experiences do carry forward with us. And when I was younger, I used to always feel like, okay, you did this and now you've lost the time, or you did the wrong thing in this and that. But as the years continued to progress, I realized that it's really helping you understand who you are and where you want to be in life and how you want to contribute, not only in your own life with family, friends, but on a broader scale, clients and beyond. So it's what was a very tragic accident really opened me up to, I would say, find myself at an earlier age versus waiting until I was in my 50s and 60s.
Yeah, you did the work.
Yeah.
You've been doing the work. Now, you're also a very accomplished marathon runner.
Thank you.
And so the parallel, I think, is fascinating. The parallel between your discipline with your work and the discipline with preparing for a marathon, not just a half marathon, a full marathon, multiple. You're going to Paris. You've already done Berlin. You've already done London.
Right.
Now, between everything that you do with work and training for that, tell me about the tools that you use for that kind of mindset. How do you stay disciplined? How do you stay moving, especially on the days that are hard?
So I don't know how people don't have a physical outlet of some form. And I don't think they all have to run by any means, but whether it's walking, yoga, Tai Chi, dance, whatever it might be, I think people just haven't invested the amount of time in themselves to find the mode that speaks to them, that they actually enjoy. No, I don't love running all the time. But the part that helps me with the discipline is that I think back to times where I wasn't as focused, I wasn't as disciplined, and I was not as committed. And I felt that things were too hard, or I could come up with any excuse like, it's easier for them, it's harder for me, this, that, and the other thing. And I realized that you're either going to create excuses that detract from your life currently and what they can be, or you're going to create the excuse, or what I like to say, the why or the reasoning of why you're doing it. So for me, it's really staying true to myself so that I can be my best self for myself, family, friends, clients, and beyond. And it's also, I've noticed the direct parallel, because when you're performing in one area, that's how you're going to perform in another typically. And for me, especially being in a competitive arena, you just don't have room to be sloppy. And I also, probably the bigger part of it is I don't want to fail myself, because I feel like I did that when I was younger. And I don't want to waste any more time in that space. So it's showing up for myself. And I think also we're all role models for each other. And that's where I think too, also just having the gift of life and the gift of movement are huge, right? Because I broke my neck, my atlas, the top vertebrae.
Yes.
The bionic goddess. I've got plates.
Oh my gosh.
No, I don't send off, alarms in the airport. Everyone was eager to ask about that back in the day. But it's really a gift to be able to move versus punishment. And so even on the days where, running through Wisconsin winters is not necessarily the top of my excitement, it is exciting because I'm able to. And I remind myself of that on the days, and I just love getting outside, because that's when you realize how much a part of life you are. And I also feel like that's how I recharge, and that's where I get my ideas and I process different things. And I really come at it from an aspect that this is my treat to myself and to just kind of clear out the day. And so it's a fully loaded question that you asked, but I approach it in various facets. And that's why I think I've stayed with it for so long. And even when I'm not training for something, I say training for life, because there's not always an easy path. And I think just coming at different choices from different angles really helps to illuminate the choice that's right for me. So I'm running to me, and that's what's important.
Oh, I love that so much. If someone needs to hear some inspiration, motivation, they're going through a rough time, what would you say to that person who just needs some uplifting?
Definitely. I would say to realize that as intense as the emotions can be, to realize that they're temporary. Heaviness is temporary. Excitement is temporary, right? So know to breathe through it, and also change your physicality. So again, get outside and walk. Even if it's cold out, open up the window, open up the door, get outside a little bit, because in changing that physicality, it's also going to change how you're processing things.
Right.
And a lot of times you can make a big shift in a very fast amount of time. So I'd also say rely on your support network. We do not do it all alone. No one can. And that was something that I've had to learn over the years and make a focused attention. It was just one of those that you can't do it all, just as we can't be perfect. So I joke that I'm a recovering perfectionist. So give yourself grace.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
You
you,
are an
Faith.
inspiration to me on so many levels. Thank you for everything that you do and everything that you show by example.
Thank you.
So if someone wants to connect with you and learn more about you and what you do, how can they find you?
Definitely. abstractcommercialrealestate.com. Also social media, Heather Ewing, Commercial Broker, on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cheers, my dear.
Cheers.
Love you very much.
Love you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.